Have you ever felt nervous or hesitant about seeing your parents-in-law? Or perhaps you are going through to build a good relationship with them? I've seen many people not feel comfortable spending time with their parents-in-law. But if a few small changes could improve this, would you be interested? Namaskar and konnichiwa everyone, it's Aya from JapanIndian family. Thank you for joining me today. As a mixed family blending Japanese and Indian cultures, we've experienced both challenges and joys throughout the 5-year marriage. Along our journey, my parents-in-law and I have been getting to know each other better. Currently, they're visiting us in Australia and we've all living together for past 3 months. And many asked, how's that going? Is it challenging living together? Some even expect me to say it's so tough. Fortunately, I cherish this time, especially seeing my son bond with his grandparents. I know that building a comfortable relationship with your partner's parents is not always straightforward. I've been there. When I traveled to India to meet my in-laws for the first time, I was nervous and unsure how our meeting would be. Especially in my case, I had many cultural barriers such as food, language, habits, so on. Thankfully, we managed to build a good relationship since then. I know that our case might be quite different if you live closer to your parents-in-law. I only see them once a year and our time together is temporarily including this time. And I must credit my Indian parents for being so generous and understanding. But some of you are similar to our situation and my experiences could be helpful. I also appreciate my Japanese mother for treating her parents-in-law, my grandparents, with care and respect for a long time. Observing them as a family, I naturally learned how to respect my parents-in-law. So today I like to share 4 tips possibly help you maintain a good relationship with parents-in-law. And please stick around till the end. I interviewed my parents-in-law about their stay here. Let's get started. Tip number 1, saying no positively and respectfully. This might sound confrontational, right? But this has been vital in all my relationships, including my in-law. I used to hesitate to say no to anyone. This is probably because saying no is often seen as impolite in Japan. But I realized that saying no respectfully and positively actually shows the trust. It shows that you believe the person will not be upset with your refusal or disagreement. This can also enhance mutual understanding. During my first trip to India, I declined certain things. I didn't eat spicy Indian food or use the hands to eat food because it was unfamiliar to me. I know this is not the best approach with parents-in-law, but I knew pretending to be okay when I wasn't was short-term thinking. My ultimate goal for this relationship was to build a good one for long-term. Although it was challenging, I politely communicated my boundaries, like saying sorry. Luckily, my Indian parents understood me and never forced me anything. Over the years, I realized that saying no respectfully is essential for trust and mutual understanding. I believe that honest relationships likely grow stronger over time. Tip number 2, embracing differences. Every culture and every individual have unique values and beliefs. On my first visit to India, I realized that how different our backgrounds were between me and my Indian family. But to foster a lasting relationship with my husband, understanding these differences were essential. As I mentioned earlier, there are many things I initially declined. However, I also made efforts to understand Indian culture during each visit. For example, Indian cuisine was overwhelming initially, I remember that I ended up eating raw vegetable with the salt. But instead, I tried Indian sweets and mangoes so that I could have time together to enjoy eating food. And I think these efforts showed the respect to their culture. Observing daily activities was another way when I tried to understand differences. It may sound weird, but it gave me significant insights without a language barrier, like their praying routines, meal times, cleaning habits, or shopping destinations. Once you are familiar with these, you can ask them questions or have small conversation, which I'll cover later. Observing can also be effective if you are not much of a talker. You can gradually learn about your in-laws' preferences. While it's not necessary to understand everything, making the effort can strengthen the bond over time. Tip number 3, spending time together. Sharing moments is invaluable to get close to each other. New relationships can feel uncomfortable simply because you are unfamiliar with each other. But my Japanese mother taught me spending time together, even briefly, makes a significant difference for long term. To explain this, it's better to share a bit of my background. My Japanese father passed away in my childhood. Since then, my mother raised me and my brother on her own. The cities where we lived and where my father's side grandmother lived were not so close each other. But my mother ensured that we kids visited her at least twice a year, even after my father's passing. I'm not sure this is surprising for you or not, but this surprised some people because a bond with parents-in-law is generally not strong as own parents. It might not have been easy for my mom to maintain this practice over the years, but it taught me a valuable lesson. And I utilized this lesson with my parents-in-law, for example, chai time. As you probably know, Indian people have a few times of chai break per day, and my Indian family have tea time every evening. Initially, joining tea time was not enjoyable for me. The conversation I could make were limited and I found the chai was too sweet. I'm a coffee person, but I often pushed myself to join the time so that I could feel the atmosphere. By consistently participating, even quietly, I began to appreciate the importance of this ritual for my Indian family. Sharing simple moments like discussing the day over tea represent quality time in Indian culture, and now I proactively participate in the evening tea and even request the cup of masala tea for myself. I also spent time in the kitchen with my Indian mother. I had no clue about Indian cuisines initially, but now I can roll a roti and heat it over the gas. I'm not saying my cooking is as good as hers though. Over time, I found more in common with my Indian family, and these small efforts have paid off. So if communication seems challenging to you, you can try being present, even if it's just briefly. You can find something new. Tip number 4, engaging in small conversations. Communication is key in any relationship, as you know, but it's definitely hard to have conversation with parents-in-law, especially when you don't know much about them in the beginning. If there is a language barrier, it's even more challenging. In our first meeting, translation from my husband and my sister-in-law were essential. I don't speak Marathi, that is my in-law's language, and they speak English, but it's limited. As you can probably imagine, it was time-consuming and then not smooth at all. It was not enjoyable in the beginning, if I can be honest. But I started to engage in small conversation with the basic English, like I asked my Indian mother how to say potato in Marathi, and body language often bridged our communication gaps. It is still not smooth yet, but over time, these small interactions surely brought us closer. Even if you cannot fully understand what your in-law is saying, like in my case, you can just actively listen. That shows your respect and genuine interest. Those were 4 tips from me, and I hope some are helpful for you. Building a good relationship with my parents-in-law has taken time, and I continuously learn to do better. But over the past 5 years, I believe our bond as a family has only grown. The journey to fostering such a relationships was made of small yet meaningful steps that made all the differences. Building a strong relationship won't happen overnight, so we can give it time. And please stay tuned to check my Indian parents' opinion about me as a daughter-in-law and their stay. Thank you so much for watching, and more videos on the way about mixed family, Japan and India. Ta-ta! How was the 3 months together?
Good.
Any issue?
No issue.
Enjoy Australia?
Full enjoyment.
Full enjoyment? How was the food?
Good food. Nice. Tasty. Enjoy food. Enjoy outing. Outing.
Outing?
Our
Philip
daughter is very
Island.
strong.
Strong?
Our daughter,
Oh,
Strong.
thank you,
Hey.
thank you.
Aya's company good.
ठीक है?
Treatment good.
होगा.
Ah,
House okay?
okay,
No
chan.
stress?
No stress.
Good.
Ajun.
अजून?
You okay? 3
Me
months?
enjoy it. आम्हाला
Any
enjoy.
problem? Any problem? You, तुला असं वाटतं का आम्ही काहीतरी बदल केला पाहिजे पुढच्या वेळेस आल्यावर?
Nothing. Same. Next time, hopefully, I can help a little bit more.
आत्ता केलंस ना पोळ्या भाजायची भाजी चिरायची.
Oh, oh, oh. I try.
काय कुठे गेला तो आपण लोण
Port Phillip,
Mornington
Good.
Peninsula,
ग्रेट
Phillip Island.
Great Ocean Road.
Great Ocean Road,
झू
Sorry.
स्लीपिंग टायगर.
Sleeping. All the animals are sleeping.
restaurant.
थँक्यू फॉर चप्पल. टीव्ही
TV.
वॉचिंग.
TV most of the time, Mama.